The destructive earthquake that hit Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, and its surrounding areas claimed the lives of thousands of people, leaving thousands more injured or homeless. Since April's disaster, British troops have been doing their bit to raise much-needed funds for the stricken communities suffering in the quake's aftermath. Duncan's southern nailer saw the damage to Kathmandu firsthand. The staff sergeant was based in the city in his role as a PTI, training the Nepalese army at the time. Now back in Aldershot, PTI is spending all his free time preparing to run this year's Bath Marathon, carrying a traditional Nepalese basket, the doka. The motivation behind his fundraising efforts stems from the devastation he witnessed.
And while we were there, the earthquake struck. And then I was re-rolled to work in the British Embassy, and part of my job was to go back and forth between the British Gurkha camp and the embassy. And over the 4 days that I was there after the earthquake, I got to see basically the thousands of people that are now displaced in the centre of Kathmandu. And it's something that stayed with me when I returned back to the UK. So I decided I wanted to do something more. So doing this, I'm hoping to raise as much money as possible for the Gurkha Welfare Trust, the Earthquake Nepal Relief Fund.
So for you yourself, what was it like to experience an earthquake?
Pretty different, as you can imagine. There's nothing in your career, I think, that can train you how to react to it. So when you're out and about in Kathmandu and then there's an earthquake, we literally just ran to a point that we felt relatively safe, waited until the earthquake had finished and all the buildings had stopped moving around us, and then managed to get ourselves back to the camp. But it was the people around, the screaming, the people running around, sort of the chaotic part of it, I think was quite daunting.
Yeah, is that when your military training kicked in, do you think?
I'd say so. I'd say everyone in the military's got training to deal with unfamiliar circumstances, and I dare say there's probably something there that can make you sort of calm down a little bit, take a different aspect of what's going on, and then react.
You were only there for a wee while before you were brought back. I mean, was there a part of you that wanted to stay out and help those civilians out there?
Yeah. Seeing thousands of people all under sort of temporary shelters, clearly people had no food, the water had started to stop. And even the British National, nobody had anything, and it was something that I felt guilty for leaving. I definitely didn't want to go, but the British Gurkhas now would come in to relieve us, so we had to leave. We weren't there to do this, and that's why it's been playing on my mind since returning that there's got to be something else that can be done. Training
for Duncan has been a challenge in itself. The doka basket does not lend itself to running marathons.
I get the basket on once a week, just to try to get familiar with it, but if I'm honest, I know for a fact that I'm not going to be fully prepared on the day. I'm just going to have to get on it and grit it the best I can.
I mean, in the recent past we've interviewed somebody who ran the London Marathon wearing a bomb suit. He had a bit of a support team. Will you have something similar?
At the minute there's no support team. I am trying to recruit the other guys to run with me, but I'm quite happy just to get the basket on and just run it alone.
Now, of course, the Royal Army Physical Training Corps school is in Aldershot, and there's a huge Nepalese community here, and they've been so warm and generous for their families back home. Do you think you'll get any support from them? Hopefully you will.
Yeah, so I mean, on the Facebook page, there's loads of people in the local community that are supporting me, sharing it with their friends as well. So yeah, really good support.
Where would you like this to go? Obviously you want this to snowball and raise as much money as you can.
Yeah, so at the minute I'm on £1,500, which is £500 more than I wanted to raise. So I'm pretty shocked by that. I'd really like to get to 2,000 and then beyond if possible.
I mean, do you know what work is still being done out in Nepal?
Yeah, so the Gurkha Welfare Trust, pretty much they're going to be one of the only charities that are working right now in Nepal to assist everybody, but they're going to stay there. So they've got longevity. They will always be in Nepal, and they've got lots of centres dotted around the hills, and so they're helping out the retired Gurkhas, but also the local community. And at the minute, there's around about 2,100 retired Gurkhas that have got no home. All of their homes have been demolished, so they're providing emergency food, emergency shelters, and then local medical support as well.
Duncan will be pounding the streets of Bath with his 15-kilogram basket on July the 26th. Julian Evans, Forces News, Aldershot.